For those people with hyperthyroidism looking to follow a natural hyperthyroid treatment protocol, there are numerous nutritional supplements and herbal remedies that can help to restore their health back to normal. However, before I list these supplements, it's important to know that just taking supplements and herbs alone isn't enough to restore one's health back to normal. When I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, nutritional supplements and herbs definitely were an important part of the recovery process. On the other hand, there were other factors that were equally important in restoring my health back to normal. Eating well is essential to any successful natural hyperthyroid treatment protocol. Those who continue to eat a lot of refined foods and sugars can take all of the supplements they want, and they won't be able to restore the function of the thyroid gland back to normal. This doesn't necessarily mean that you will need to eliminate junk food from your diet for good, but you will definitely need to make some lifestyle changes if you want to not only restore your health back to normal, but also to prevent a relapse from happening. Other factors that are important when using natural hyperthyroid treatment methods include doing a good job of managing the stress in your life, getting quality sleep each night, and reducing your exposure to environmental toxins. The good news is that you can make many of these changes on your own, although sometimes it can be a challenge. The following represent the supplements and herbs that I took while I was on my natural hyperthyroid treatment protocol. Some of these I still take on a daily basis. What's important to keep in mind is that this is just an example of what I took and not a recommendation for anyone else with a hyperthyroid condition to take. After all, while many people can benefit from the same supplements, not everyone needs to take all of these supplements. Plus, depending on what is causing your thyroid condition, you might need to take additional supplements. Finally, different people will also require different dosages depending on their condition. One more thing I want to mention, as anyone with a hyperthyroid condition should consult with an endocrinologist or a natural endocrine doctor before taking any of the following supplements. Bugleweed is the first herb I'm going to talk about, as bugleweed is a great herbal remedy for most hyperthyroid conditions, as this was perhaps the main herb that helped manage my symptoms when I first began my natural hyperthyroid treatment protocol. Just like many other people who have a hyperthyroid condition, the increased heart rate and palpitations can be scary, and bugleweed really did help with these symptoms and allowed me to avoid taking the anti-thyroid drugs. Eleuthero is the second herb I'm going to talk about. It's also known as Siberian ginseng, and this herb is not just specific for those who have a hyperthyroid condition. However, for someone that has adrenal problems and deals with a lot of chronic stress, which seems to describe most people these days, taking Eleuthero daily can really be beneficial and make it easier to cope with the stress in your life. Next, I'm going to talk about vitamin D. Most people are vitamin D deficient, and a big reason for this is because many people do everything they can to avoid the sun, which is the best source of vitamin D. And many of those that do get adequate sun exposure always put on sunblock, which also blocks the absorption of vitamin D. As a result, just about everyone needs to supplement with vitamin D3. But before you can do this, it's a good idea to get tested to confirm that you are indeed deficient in vitamin D. Vitamin D deficiency can cause a lot of problems, including a weakened immune system, which can eventually lead to the development of an autoimmune thyroid condition, increase the likelihood of certain cancers, as well as many other conditions. Next, I'm going to talk about iodine. It is assumed by many doctors that people with a hyperthyroid disorder have an excess of iodine. The reason for this is because iodine is necessary for the formation of thyroid hormone, and since people with hyperthyroidism have an excess of thyroid hormone, it is also assumed that they have an excess of iodine. This simply isn't true, as many people with hyperthyroidism actually have a deficiency in iodine. This once again can be confirmed with testing, as there is an iodine loading test you can take to determine if you are deficient in iodine, which will then require proper supplementation to correct this deficiency. Like vitamin D, a deficiency in iodine can lead to many different conditions. For more information on the importance of iodine, I highly recommend the book Iodine, Why You Need It, Why You Can't Live Without It, which was written by Dr. David Brownstein. Let's briefly talk about selenium next. Selenium is important for the conversion of T4 to T3, and as a result, a deficiency of selenium can lead to a thyroid disorder, although in many cases it is a hypothyroid condition that develops. However, selenium is also important when it comes to immunity, and so even if you have a hyperthyroid condition, you should make sure you are not deficient in this mineral. Eating 1 ounce of raw Brazil nuts each day will give you all of the selenium you need. Let's talk about the B vitamins next. There are many different conditions in which deficiencies in the B vitamins can lead to, and so once again you want to make sure you avoid such a deficiency. Taking a daily whole food supplement is a good idea, as well as eating plenty of whole foods and at the same time minimizing the amount of refined foods and sugars you consume. Next, I'm going to briefly talk about magnesium, as many people are also deficient in magnesium, which has many different roles in the body, and as a result, a deficiency in magnesium can lead to numerous different conditions. Taking supplements also can help, although eating a diet consisting of a wide variety of whole foods will greatly help as well, including plenty of organic vegetables and raw seeds. Finally, let's talk about omega-3 fatty acids. More and more people are taking omega-3 fatty acids, but you do want to make certain of a couple of things. First of all, you want to make sure you take a high-quality fatty acid, as many of the fatty acids sold in retail stores are rancid, which you can usually tell if they have a fishy odor. Second, don't take too many omega-3 fatty acids, as this is becoming more of a problem, and while you definitely want to avoid a deficiency, at the same time you don't want to have an excess in your system, as this can lead to other health issues. So how can you determine which of these supplements you need to take as part of a natural hyperthyroid treatment protocol? Being a natural healthcare professional, I'm obviously biased and will therefore suggest that it's a good idea to seek the advice of a competent natural endocrine doctor. While it might be tempting to self-treat your condition, there are risks involved with this, and most people who take this approach usually don't receive optimal benefits. On the other hand, by consulting with a natural endocrine doctor, they will evaluate your condition and put you on an individual plan depending on what nutritional deficiencies you may have, whether you have any hormonal imbalances, and so on. Not only that, but they will also monitor your condition so that you're not taking these supplements longer than you need to. As I mentioned earlier, some of these supplements can and should be taken regularly, such as the vitamin D, fatty acids, but others do not need to be taken long term. So rather than taking these supplements and herbs on your own, do yourself a favor and consult with a holistic doctor that focuses on endocrine disorders. To receive more natural thyroid health tips, please visit naturalendocrinesolutions.com, where you can get a free guide entitled The 6 Steps on How to Treat Your Thyroid Condition Naturally. This guide contains 100% pure content and is not a sales pitch for any product or service. Thanks for watching this presentation.